I went and got loud again. Sorry. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Desire and Diagnose. I am Tiffany Marie, your sexual health coach. This is Miss Jay Bird. She is your, do you want to go by Jay Bird or Jay?
It doesn't matter. Jay. People who are close to me call me Jaybird.
I'm going to call you every name.
Except
Jay,
you. You get to
Linda.
call me my bitch.
So if you guys can tell, we are uncensored and raw on our podcast. So what is our podcast, right? So you probably have seen a couple episodes. Maybe you're tuning in for the first time and you're like, who are these crazy women and why is she calling her bitch? No, we are not lesbians. We do not scissor. Her husband wouldn't like it and I don't no. Anyhow, so we are actually best friends. Jay is a mental health coach. She is an actual therapist who is actually finished with her master's program. So,
Brittany.
yeah. So Jay is getting ready to take her boards and finalize everything with that. And I am your sexual health coach. So we decided to take both of our brains and kind of smash them together because we pretty much talk about sex and brains all the time and everything is connected. So when you're thinking of your sexual health in the bedroom, your mind is connected to it and vice versa. Your mind is connected to your sexual health. So why not have a podcast where we give you raw, unedited, great commentary, great education, funny, but pretty much this is what we talk about on a day-to-day basis. So we're just recording it. We said, fuck it.
Unless we're talking about shit, which is what we were talking about before we pushed play. It all started with Dutch.
We were talking about shit and dog shit and tattoos and lots of shit. But we're
Yeah.
not talking about shit today. Today, we're going to talk about rejection. So rejection is something that Jay and I would say we both have dealt with rejection from business to work environment to relationships to children. Our children reject us as they get older. Dickheads.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've dealt friendship rejection.
Yeah.
So we've dealt with quite a bit of rejection ourselves. And so rejection, I think is, Jay brought this up. This was actually Jay's topic that she wanted to talk about and thought it would be a great transition into what we had just talked about before. So our last podcast, we talked about body imaging and basically like shaming yourself of your own body and not loving yourself. And so we kind of talked about that. So we're going to talk about rejection. So I'm the single chick in the group. Jay is a happily married one. And so one day, right now, marriages are like this. Every time anybody that's married or in a relationship, everybody has their days where they're like, fuck you. They do that. Rejection. How do we want to start this one? Go on, Jay. Tell me, Jay.
Well, and rejection can not only go across the board in terms of who we're rejected from, but it can also be physical, emotional, sexual, and those can be really difficult to process and get over because then it goes into body shame and and body image and starting to beat ourselves up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to kind of address each little category that you mentioned, from friendship to business. I mean, those are all kinds of little ones. But it's like, how do we take it and process it and let it go? And I think that, and then it can spiral into something deeper, we'll talk
Yeah.
about later. Um, I think that it's important to kind of understand, like, we all go through it and it happens to all of us. Even the most beautiful woman and most successful, gorgeous man is they're going to go through rejection as well. So, and it's hard. And in the dating world, Tiffany sees it quite a bit sometimes, or
Who rejects this face?
not rejecting you specifically, but we call it ghosting in the dating world.
My
You
face
go
does get rejected, people, okay? I know everybody's like, "Oh, Tiffany's pretty, like, she probably doesn't have a hard time finding a man." I get rejected as soon as I open my mouth.
because
They're
you're
like
right.
because they don't know me and they don't know who I am as a person, and I don't like being fake. I hate that to a core. So you will get who I am in person immediately. So that if you don't like it and it's not your cup of tea, then you don't need to fuck with me. Ooh, that
No,
kinda rhyme look at me, I'm getting
it's
these
totally
rhymes.
good.
I'm gonna be
We
a
need like
rapper.
a we
That's the
I'll
doorbell.
ping your DJ. My goodness.
Alright, so
Your mind
let's
always go there.
I know, I can't help it. This is why I'm a sex coach. Anywho, okay, so let's talk about business, right? So let's start with business, kind of work to friendship and then into relationships, right? So business rejection, I would say, and business can fall into maybe your own business or work. So anything kind of related around your career or the industry that you're in. Personally, so I've been a sexual health coach for over 18 years and I have been rejected from parties. I have done a couple like event like expos, you would say like bridal expos or women's day out expos. And I have had tons of women that have actually approached me and come over and they're like, well, what is this booth about? What is this? And you can
Mhm.
already tell, and you're like, oh, have you ever heard of, the company? And they would be like, no, never. And I'm like, oh, okay. So think of like Tupperware. We're just at home fun parties. We specialize in educating you on your health, your body, all this kind of stuff. And so I would get a ton of women that would, oh, no, 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 I don't need stuff like that. And I'm immediately like, you don't take a shower? I have body wash.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't
not
have to buy it.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy the anal toy. Relax. Nobody's gonna shove it in there. You can buy, so I've had women reject from that into the business avenue of like, oh, we don't, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, everybody does that. How do you think you got here?
And I think it's
So,
important to kind of connect what you just said. It's judgment. So they're
mhm,
rejecting you, but they're also judging you at the same time. And it's hurtful because we know that it's not just rejection, there's judgment behind it.
correct. Yeah. So I would get a lot of that, or I'd get a lot of like, oh, like a sex, like dildos. And I'm like, I have no dildos in my demo. They're
Did you
all
just
vibrators.
Zelda?
Yeah, dildos? I'm like, "Oh my god. What do you think it's gonna be like this with the hand?" Like,
Yeah.
what kind of like, I'm like, "What are you thinking here?" So, there was a lot of rejection with that, when I first started in the industry and doing it. Throughout the years, it's gotten better. I have tons of women that I've met throughout the 18 years that have come to parties and have expressed, like, how much they learned at a party, and they're like, "I went home with so much knowledge that I didn't know I was gonna get." They're like, "You're kinda like our sexual health coach with a little spice on you," and I'm like, just a little, not too spicy, but just a little." So,
Yeah.
so I would say, like, as I've continued to keep going and doing it, there's been rejection still coming, but I, at the end of the day, look at people and go, by 3 F's, right? You're not feeding me, fucking me, or financing me. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's going to continue. I'm always going to get somebody that's not going to like me or somebody that's not going to want the products that I'm selling, right? And social media took that to like a whole new level. I mean, people were on there with body shaming, right? Telling me like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, you're too fat and who would want to hump a pig?" And so, personally, don't take offense to anybody that is on my social media and I don't respond back to your positive comments. It's because I don't read the comments.
Yeah.
I quit
I think
reading
that
comments. Yeah, I just post videos and I'm like, here you go. Bit of knowledge, like a Snapple top, but that's all I do. So I would say over the years, I've come to easier.
yeah.
That doesn't sound right either. Like I've
Come,
came to
come.
easier. I mean, it has gotten better over the years. I've gotten better at taking rejection and kind of just blowing it off. For every 10 no's that I get, I will always get a yes.
Yeah.
Is a great way of looking at it.
Yeah. And I deal with it in the same aspect because I have a small private business as well. And I get just the most ridiculous things of why, they don't want to continue with my business, things like that. And it's very frustrating because you do take it personal. I think it's hard not to because you put so much of your heart into your business. You do. It's your business. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, you know. I do because I built it just like you did, you know, and you watch this, it's your baby. And it's like somebody sitting there in front of your child telling them that you're not worthy and that you're not good enough and they're going somewhere else to get it, you
Mhm.
know? And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you do, and that's what I've learned being in this business in my business for so long is like, we're a dime a dozen, and
Mhm.
if you're not happy with us, there's the door,
Mhm.
and, you know, I approach business, very gently, and I treat it like even, you know, I don't know what other people are going through when they approach me about stuff, so I try to be very nurturing and loving to them,
Yeah.
but if they're going to be crappy back, that's on them, it's not on me. I'll give them a refund, I'll do whatever I can to make nice, and then that's it. But I do take it, I process it, which I think is really is that you just kind of filter it through and then just be like, this happens to everybody. It's happened before. I'm going to be okay. It's all going to work out. So, you know,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, with the business, same thing. I mean, I have clients that will call me and be like, "Hey, I got it invited to another girl's at home fun party. Like, I'm not going to buy anything." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Please go and buy because you're supporting the hostess, not the girl that's buying or the girl that's doing the parties. You're supporting your friend who's having the party. That's the whole reason
yeah,
she invited you." So I'm like, "Please go buy something, you know?" And I've been to lately the new thing that's been happening to me is the company that I was with for, 16 years, 17 years basically, kind of folded. And so they're no longer selling to consultants anymore. They're selling to all of our clients. And it's taking me a very long time to kind of process that in my head and go, wait a minute, you stopped selling to me at my buying discount so that I could support my family. And now you're just took all of my clients that I put in your system for emails, people that went on my website and bought, and now you're emailing them and offering them 60 to 70% off of some of the items. Like, how do you expect us as consultants can continue? And
yeah,
so I've had a couple parties recently, and I this has been brought up at a party, and they'd be like, "Oh, I went to the website." And I figured out why. It's because I was still using the old school invitations that the company had given that I had bought.
yeah,
So as of yesterday, I have completely disologed everything with that company. I have new business cards coming, new stickers for my products. I'm not using those invitations. I will make my own invitations. I'm not
yeah,
using their order forms because I've had women go, "Oh, yeah, we went on the website and it's like up to 60%." And I'm like, "Listen, I totally understand. Unfortunately, I can't buy those products. I'm a wholesaler now. I have to buy from a different company, and I actually go out now and I kind of it's actually a blessing because I like being able to talk to other companies out there that are
yeah.
having products from like bedroom to like the love chair. Oh my god, this freaking lounge chair. I'm gonna mail you one, okay? I'm telling you, this is phenomenal. But it
Right.
is amazing because like some of us that have bad knees, sidetrack for a minute, but some of us that have bad knees, right? You can't get in those positions to be on top and bounce like we're 10 anymore, and even going back and forth, like, hurts. This chair, because it's like a yoga chair with the whoop in it, it allows you to have your feet flat on the floor, and you can do squats. Not a full deep squat, but it allows you to get in different positions, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, I need a bigger house just so I can have a bigger bedroom to put that thing." Actually, I mean, I'll have room, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm just like, it's opened me up to be able to meet these new companies now
Yeah.
and
And be
be
able to
able to
get products that maybe your other
yeah.
places don't have. Yeah.
And there's products too that I think are really great products that a lot of clients don't know, but because I was with that company, I was in a no compete. I was not allowed to sell other products because I was
Yeah.
with that company. Whereas
Yeah.
now that's gone. I'm a wholesaler. So,
Yeah.
I've had multiple women that are like, "Oh, I went on that website and it's up to 60%." And I'm honest with them. I'm like, "Listen, I don't take any offense if you want to go on that website and order. But please know that if something breaks, don't call me."
Yeah.
Because I take care of my clients. I have clients that I've had since I started the jump. And if they have a problem with their toy, they immediately call me and I handle it because
Right.
I don't want any of my clients ever, like, you go to like say the sex shops that are in town, right? Anytime you go in and you grab one, they're going to be like, okay, let me put some batteries in it and make sure it works. Now they're touching your vibrator and then they're
Yeah.
like, okay, it works. Here you go. You go home, you use it one time and it goes dead. They've already tried batteries in it and it doesn't work. So there's nothing they're going to do. You don't get your refund. So for
Yeah.
me, I look at that as you're spending like $100 to $200 on a good vibrator. Why would I just go, good luck to you on these orgasms? I want you to
Yeah.
keep coming back to me. And I'll tell you that when I told women that, and I said, listen, I'll support you any way I can, but I cannot replace any of those products that you get on their website. If you purchase it from me, though, I do take care of my products. I do take care of my clients. And
Yeah.
so I'll tell you immediately, those girls dropped like $400 to $500 each.
Nice.
And they only got maybe a 10% discount or a 20% discount. They didn't get the 60, whereas their husband's on the phone, like, what the fuck? That's a lot of
Yeah.
money. Like, you could get, and she's like, we're supporting a small business,
Yeah.
and hung up on him. And I was like, ooh, oh, that's a little hot. But it's taken a long time to get comfortable, I would say, in my own skin because a lot, sex industry, it's kind of taboo, right? Like what you and I are doing, podcasting and talking about certain things openly and publicly is taboo. Like you're
Yeah.
not supposed to talk about sex. You're not supposed to talk about, these things. Everybody wants us to have that mentality that we're back from the 1800s that, we keep this a hush hush and we don't get pentacles. I watched the whole series, bitch. I'm caught up on Bridgerton.
No spoiler alerts. I'm not I didn't watch 8 yet. I'm gonna
Oh,
watch it.
I'm ready for the next season. It needs to hurry up. Um, but it took a long time for me to be comfortable with rejection and comfortable with understanding with what I was doing. There was a purpose behind it, and it
Mhm.
was education. Because when people hear that you're a sex lady or you sell sex toys, they immediately assume that I'm like some super freak. I can't get a job. I'm uneducated. I'm probably got a warrant and I'm going to steal people's right? Whereas when I would say when people meet me, they're like total opposite. You're the
Yeah.
total opposite of what people judge you for. And so it's just taken a long time with rejection to get used to that and being okay with it. But I would
Yeah.
say you would probably have the same thing even going into your new career as a therapist.
Yeah.
People are I would say some people are very skeptical of therapists.
Yeah. And I have heard stories about people who even the interns that I work with where um they saw someone once or twice and then they were like, we want to switch. We don't want the same person. Um I had a couple of people, well, one person specifically, I think, saw him a couple of times and then they kept canceling and then I'd reschedule canceling. So I just stopped. I was like, I can't take it personal because I know that they're doing it for themselves and
Mhm.
not everybody's gonna like the way that, I counsel or the next
Right.
person, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like a counselor's like a good hairdresser, a good nail tech.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't just tell your whole life to someone. Also, side note, sidetrack, when people talk about their feelings and they vent about stuff, it breaks them down and it's exhausting. So then they leave therapy and they go home and they, talk to the first person that they come in contact with and they're like, how was counseling? And they're like, "Ugh, all I did was cry. It was just awful." That is
Mhm.
not easy to be like, every time I'm going here, I'm processing and dealing with crap. So I think it's really important that people hang on for the ride. You wouldn't be going to therapy unless you needed to process and feel like crap. And eventually it gets lighter.
Yeah, and I think, and there's something that I tell people, I don't think anybody should ever be ashamed to going to therapy. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people do take it like ashamed that they have to go see a therapist. And I'm like, it could be a divorce, it could be a loss of a child, a loss of a family member. Sometimes going to someone that has no input in your life, because let's put it this way, right? I could call all of my girlfriends and have a conversation, and I probably will not get a straight answer from any of them.
Yeah.
Unless I called you and I'm like, hey, I'm putting a hundo on the session right now, but I need a in, and, and then your therapy brain kicks in and you're like, okay, not friend, therapist. And then
Yeah.
that's when I can get like a straight answer on how to digest something and move on from something. Because I know
Yeah.
when I call my friends, they're all going to be like, it's okay, like pat my hair. It's okay. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll get another job. Right. But I call you and you're like, no, shut the fuck up. Put your big girl panties on. Go do your homework. And I'm like, okay, I'll go do my homework. But I think a lot of people are afraid to come and talk
They're
to a therapist.
intimidated. Yeah.
And I would say 10 to 1, a lot of people in your line of work are intimidated with that rejection.
Yeah.
And they probably are still processing it themselves on how to deal with rejection because, just like people, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea. Not all of us like our coworkers, right? Not
Yeah.
all of us like our bosses. And
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, we're making money. We go to work, we do a job, we go home. We don't have to be friends. And your
Yeah.
therapist is there to give you the truth and the honest
Yeah.
and to help you learn how to move forward with certain things.
Absolutely. Because rejection is hard to move off of, you
Yeah.
know.
If not, you just do a 72-hour hold. The hospital will hold you for 72 hours.
Exactly.
Great vacation, mini vacation for those moms out there that are just having a hard time. I'm just joking. Do not go to the hospital if there's nothing wrong with you. I could
Disclaimer.
just
Disclaimer.
I could just see all of the docs calling me right now. Why'd you tell everybody that? Now our ER's flooded. They needed a vacation. All right. So we talked about work pretty much, you just have to take it and kind of roll with it and don't take it personal.
Yeah.
And I will say it's definitely hard not to take things personal
Yeah.
when it comes to work. And I've been dealing with that, with my job and stuff. And I've taken it personal. And it's not so much they're attacking how I work and the fact that I'm a good respiratory therapist and I'm a good person. My patients love me, my nurses love me, my doctors love me. I feel like they're attacking my character. And so for me, that's a rejection, but it's a rejection in the sense of you're attacking my character, you're falsifying information about me, and you're spreading it, and it's catching like wildfire, right? So it's one of those things where it kind of hurts, but at the end of the day, I have to keep remembering to myself, I know who I am as a person. I know what I am capable of. I know how good I am. And so I have to just kind of roll with the punches and I call it adapt and pivot. Right. I have to adapt to a thing and have to pivot and move on. And that's why I'm pursuing my career as a physician assistant.
Yeah.
So then you can counsel them and I'll write them the drugs. Done. All right. So let's talk about friendship.
Yeah. Here's a big one.
I don't reject you ever.
It's not you, it's me. No, I'm just kidding. So I
Yeah.
feel like with friendships, there can be a lot of competition. And so in that competition, there's rejection. There can also be a multitude of friends in so I'll use Tiffany and I as an example. Tiffany has multiple friends. She's got other best friends. And so we joke
Why you
around.
say that? You said that's so hurtful. She has other
We've
best friends.
she's got listen,
3 best friends, okay? 3.
she's got some other best friends and
Other.
and they're not as important as me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, so I think sometimes if I am expecting, and expectations have to do with this, if I'm expecting to, me and Tiffany to just hang out and then she wants to bring another best friend into the situation.
I know what you're talking about, bitch.
I might get a little attitude. But I don't feel rejected by it, but then I'm gonna flip it. I've also been where I've hung out with a couple of friends, and another friend will reach out to me and be like, "How come I wasn't invited?" And so I think it's really important to make sure that you're not leaving your friends out intentionally. If you are, say sorry, things like that. But if you're the person on the other side of it feeling that rejection, I think it's really important, like, when that happened to me, this friend reached out and said, I'm upset about this. Otherwise, the friendship's going to fall apart and you're going to start being a part of a girl game, and they're gonna start leaving you out and doing hurtful stuff, you know?
Right. Right. Well, you
So
can't go nowhere. We have a podcast.
I'm not talking about you and me. Me and you are we're good.
No, but I know the incident that you're talking about, and it was we went and got our feet done, and I I
By
invited
yourself.
we went and got our toes done, and I invited my other best friend. So, give you guys a sidetrack. I don't have a lot of friends. I keep a very, very small circle, and I have 3 girls that I call for everything, and I each of them have their strengths on what makes them such good people to me, right? So, I had invited another best friend to come because I hadn't seen her in a while either. Jay had been in town for, like, a week and a half, and we spent a lot of time. So, I thought it would be a good way to kinda, like, scissor you 2 together.
Okay.
I this is like the main piece and the side piece coming together. If I would have brought the third, it would have been insane. I don't know if I could have managed it. But I try to give my friends, like, each of their own individual time so that they have me individually because I don't have a lot of friends, and that's because I don't trust a lot of people. And I feel like you said, it's competition. And it's always been like that. And there shouldn't be competition. And I have made some I would say you and I are the longest on our friendship because we've known each other, I want to say, God, I think we did the math the other day. It was like what, 18, 20 years?
Well, Aiden was like a year and a half, and he's almost 19,
Yeah.
so,
So it's about 18 years. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. So I feel the rejection with friendship on an extent because I'm one of those people that, like, I like to spend time with people, but then I have to take a step back when I'm going through something because I don't talk to anybody about stuff.
the Smurfy people.
I smurf people. I don't talk to nobody. I keep to myself. I become very quiet. Jay is the only one out of all 3 of my best friends that has picked it up. She will call me immediately and be like, "I haven't heard from you in a day and a half. What the fuck is going on?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And she's like, "You liar." And then she, like, FaceTimes me, and I'm like, "This is some bullshit." But I
Or
feel
I
the
just
re
around her and I'm like, "Something's off. What the hell's going on?"
right. And I think the reason I'm like that is because of rejection at a younger age with friends, because you would want someone to like you and you try to be this person that you're not, and it puts you, they always say, like, you should hang out with people that you want your life to be like,
Mhm.
or people that will help you exceed to your life, right? So I have had tons of friends throughout the years, and I had one girlfriend who was a really good friend, like super nice girl. We did a lot together. Our kids did a lot. My son was little when she met him, but she would smoke cigarettes and drink a lot. And my life, I started to notice, was going down that path. I was smoking cigarettes. I was drinking all the time. I was heavy set. I was really struggling mentally. And so I stepped away from that friendship.
Yeah.
And I stepped away from that friendship to get more competitive with my business, and I met a woman that was competitive, and so her and I flourished in our friendship because we were competitive in our business, and we pushed each other to run our businesses, you know?
Yeah.
Her and I are no longer friends either, and I think it's that rejection that comes back and forth because it's like, I want someone that's gonna push me as a friend, but also tell
Yeah.
me if I'm fucking up, and I
Yeah.
feel like if I say that to other people, then it's like, "Well, I don't wanna be your friend," and they step back from being friends with me. And so, it's that rejection of, well, now I'm not accepted of who I am.
Yeah. Or they
You know,
feel
we're
they shut down and step away or what
right, and
friendship.
that's why I feel like I can be myself, like, I say some of the most off the wall shit. Off the wall, like, it just I have a no filter, so sometimes when shit just comes in my brain, I just say it.
Yes.
And then after I say it, I'm like, "Maybe I should have thought about that before I said it."
But with me,
So
then I usually say something crazy back.
yeah, and it's like
And
a
then
Tourette's. It triggers me, and I'm like,
and then my husband sits over here and goes,
yeah,
"What is wrong with
especially
you
if he
guys?"
knows I'm coming into town, he, like, picks up extra shifts at work.
Oh,
Come
God.
home, we got face mask on and we're drunk. But yeah, no, I think it's rejection from a younger age of trying to fit in, and I would say it probably a lot of this stuff with rejection with friendship starts probably for a lot of kids in elementary to middle school. Middle school,
100%.
I think, is one of the toughest
Yeah.
for kids because of the hormones, their emotions, and then you're trying to make friends and they don't like you, and then you get the, "Oh, well, we don't like her bullying" bullshit. I'm the one that used to beat up the bullies. So,
Yeah.
I was always fighting people. It's bad. And then I went to high school and it was, it was a little bit better. I was that girl that could bounce from each group, each clique in high school. I'd be hanging out with basketball players. I'd go over here with the girls. I was a cheerleader. I did all that stuff so I could bounce, but I still didn't have those close connections that I thought I did because even after we graduated, I don't talk to anybody from graduation.
Yeah.
I have
I have a
I would say acquaintances.
yeah. I have a few that I'm in contact with, but it
Right.
it is it is few and far between. I think girls are harder, um, because of the bullying. The bullying can be really bad, and I dealt with that when I was younger as well, and bullying is rejection. It's
Mhm.
accept judgment behind it.
Yeah.
So, it can
And
be
I
very, very hurtful.
yeah.
Being in the business that I am in as well too, aside from counseling, um, my sons grew up in that business, and so I became friends with the mothers of the other friend, the children
Mhm.
that they were
Mhm.
involved with, and then to be rejected in
Yeah.
that business way, it flowed over to the friendship. It was brutal. It can
Yeah.
be girls can be very bad. Very,
Yeah,
very
'cause they
naughty.
can be very hurtful
Yeah,
and
aggressive
they
and full
Mhm.
and just like I just could never do that to somebody. And so I think that when you look at a reflection of yourself, like you're like, I'd be the one to go beat the people up, what I mean? Because you don't like to see people hurt. And I think that there's just a lot of people who don't care about that. So I think that it's important to reflect on yourself and be like, is that the kind of friend that I am? Would
Yeah.
I do that? And then disconnect yourself like you've done in the past with people. I've done that in the past with people too, where I'm just, this friendship is no longer serving me. And
Right.
I would say people are in your life for a reason or a season.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're a blessing and sometimes they're a lesson. And
Yeah.
so you just have to like take it for what it is. It's face value. The three F's, your three F's, are they contributing to any of those? Nope. Okay. Bye.
Right. And a lot
So
of my friendships, like, I try not to look at my friends of, like with a purpose of, like, who can do what for me.
yeah, and that's not what I mean for
No, no,
sure.
no, I know. But I mean, like, that's how I kinda look at my friends is like, "Okay, what as a friend, what do we contribute? How do I feel when I'm with them?"
Yeah,
And, because like me and you, we get together and it's like we giggle for 3 fucking days, 4 days in a row.
yeah,
That's why we need those little mini vacations together. And then there's times where we can have, like, legit serious conversations where I mean, fuck, think about that 1 year that I was going through the breakup with that ex, I literally was on the phone with you almost every 3 days fucking crying
yeah.
for, like, I would say probably, like, 6 months, and it was over the most ugliest fucking man, God. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the worst attitude, the worst behavior, that's what made him ugly. It wasn't the physical, it was the way he treated me and cheated and all that, and the fact that I didn't love myself enough to walk away, but yet, as a friend, you were always there listening to those conversations and, picking me back up, and then,
Yeah,
husband in the back, "She needs to dump him." He was so mad. He
so
was like,
mad.
"Why is she talking to him again?"
It's because he's a guy who doesn't get it.
And see,
So
and I've always done huh.
this is a good moment to switch it to relationships because we stay at the party too long because of the rejection factor.
Yes. Yes,
So
100%.
in that situation with you and that man, you knew he was a piece of shit, and you
I
knew he was
knew he was a piece of shit from the weekend I met him.
yeah, 1,000%.
100%.
But you
And
hung on.
I don't know why. That's the crazy part to me because I know that I had gotten out of a relationship, like a 3-year relationship prior to him, and I was
Yeah.
single for a year. And then COVID had kinda hit, and that 3-year relationship, I would say that one hit me the hardest because that was rejection to me.
Yeah.
And because even you guys didn't even see that one coming, and you guys met him and we all did stuff together, and so
Yeah.
I didn't even see that one coming, and I think that one hit me the hardest because I was blindsided by it completely, and so there was a lot of rejection with that one, and so I think I was still in that stage of not loving myself and trying to get myself back when I met this ex, or whatever. I'm not putting a name to it, but you know what I'm saying, okay? So when I met him, I was still in that state. And like I've told you before, I'm like, I was in there because I felt like I needed a big burly guy who was going to protect me. And when
Mhm.
I looked at him, he looked like a baby thug. That's what I call it, because I probably could have took him and anybody else, but I felt protected because he was bigger than me, he was taller than me, he presented himself as being a strong person, and so I felt protected, and that's why I think I clung to him, was
Mhm.
because I didn't feel protected from the previous one.
Right. You took
And then
past and
mhm.
brought it into somebody
Correct.
completely different.
Correct. Who
Yeah.
showed me who he was the fucking second day I met him,
Yeah.
and even people warned me about him, okay? So, trust me, my cousin still yells at me to this day and was like, "Well, you were warned. I
Yeah.
told you not to mess with," and I'm like, "Okay, get the fuck over it. It's been 2 years since I've been with this man too, so let's just move on from that."
Yeah.
But it was I don't think I was in love with myself. I really don't, and yes, I think it could have been getting rejected by someone who's not my type.
Yeah.
Or I always make the comment of, "I gave the ugly guy a try." So maybe that's what it is I'm upset with the rejection that I had. Now, we're 2 years later. I could give 2 shits. I look back on it as it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
I think all relationships are lessons, so I understand what I do want, what I don't want,
Mhm.
and the red flags to see. I would say I've gotten better
Yeah.
with, like, dating and stuff and, like, "Oh, like that's nope, no thank you, good luck."
Yeah.
Like, today I turned someone down today
Yeah.
because I was like, "Good luck to you, I'm sorry." I really do think he's a great person, but our lives are not on the same track, and so I don't want to continue it further if we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
and I
mean?
think yeah, and you brought up a good point in terms of, like, being in a relationship, even though you had allowed yourself a year to heal, you still didn't get the opportunity to build yourself back up. And I think it's really important to have that self-love and that I mean, you could see a counselor if you wanted to, if someone's looking for
Hey,
advice on this.
you.
Um,
You.
but but it's important that you deal with yourself first because then, like Tiff and like most of us, she's not the only one. I got into a relationship after my marriage ended, and that was brutal. And I felt like what, and everyone was the same thing, like how you were with your ex, the same conversations. And I stayed with him for like a year and a half almost. And people were like, "What is wrong with you? You're like here, and he's like here."
Yeah.
Just in so many levels, and these are all the things that you guys have apart, and I'm like, "I don't know what it is," and it was rejection. I clung to him
Huh?
because of rejection.
Yeah.
Once you're over it, like you are over it, and
Mhm.
it take you as long to get over this one, but I once you're over it, I think it's just kind of like, "Oh my god, like, what was I doing?" You feel
Yeah.
like a fool.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And you know what's crazy is and I don't think I think it's the rejection, but I also think I don't like somebody saying that they're right.
Mhm. Like other people saying that
Yeah, because you know how, like, people are like, "I
type of
told
stuff.
you." Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because there was so many people that I would meet when I started dating this last one, and they were just like, "I don't see what you see in him because you are here and he is here, and
Yeah.
he is going to pull you into that drama, that bullshit, and I don't know why you stay with him." And we stayed together for 2.5 years, and it was a very rocky 2.5 years. And
Yeah.
I think the rejection was the part that did hurt me the most because I was like, no, I can fix him.
Yeah.
I've got duct tape, I got tools, I will fix him. And I
Yeah.
think it was because of that level of trying to fix somebody, or I don't want to be rejected because now what?
Yeah.
Now I'm alone again. Now it's another failed relationship. And I think a lot of my relationships have failed since my divorce over 16 years ago because of that. And
Mhm.
I think rejection because of my divorce. I left my husband. I chose to get divorced because I didn't like how he was treating me or my son, and I didn't want anybody to I didn't want my son to see that, as that's how you treat people. But ever since then, I have pretty much not been in a committed serious relationship since the last the last one that I did 3 years with, where we
Yeah.
had a house together, and so I think it's rejection on that point because I didn't really get closure with my ex-husband. There wasn't really closure there because we still managed a child together, and we still do to this day, and he's still an asshole to me to this day, and
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck either if he watches this. My kid's 18, so fuck off. But I also too see, like, the one that I was with for 3 years, I got no closure on that one. There
Yeah.
was no closure. I still have no clue to this day, like, the legit truth of anything, and I really still to this day do not know. Do I care? No. It was definitely a lesson learned. It was the first time I had dated somebody with kids, so it really opened my eyes up to the whole step-parent or somebody coming in and being a partner and living together with kids.
Yeah.
Definitely opened my eyes to that,
Yeah.
and then I went to the 2.5-year one, which I fell in love with the kids, and I fell in love with the grandkids, and that is the reason why I think I stayed the longest, was because of them. Until I stepped back and was like, "They don't give 2 shits about me."
Right.
Like, none of them call me to check on me. None of them, when I left, none of them did any of that. And
Right.
that's when I finally stepped back and was like, "Okay, they actually don't give a shit about me. I was just a money thing to them." Right?
Right.
So I think now when I look at things going forward, and then maybe it's because 'cause I'm older now, right? I'm 33. I'm gonna live with that. When I die, put that on my tombstone. She died at but I to this day, I think I'm getting better at hearing the rejections, and dating
Yeah.
is rejections. I am getting rejected online. And it's not so much it's a rejection, like I'll go and like somebody's profile and I'm like, oh, they're kind of cute. They seem like they're really nice. Like I'd like to get into you, you hit the little heart and then they have to match with you and they don't match with me. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. I'm a super fun person. I ride motorcycles. I'm pretty. I can wear makeup, but I don't. I know how to cook. I hate cleaning, but I'll work enough to pay for a maid. So I'm like, I don't understand what the issue is. And
Yeah.
so, think about it. Same thing for you, you until you and your husband got together, you had
My
dated
God.
a couple men that were definitely in the spectrum. Yeah, they were. Uh-huh.
In the spectrum of asshole.
I think we all go through that phase of assholes.
Yes. Are they closer to the A or to the end of the asshole? Yes.
They're fucking the whole thing.
I had a guy that I was dating. It's so funny because I had heard he dated like throughout other friends that were dating at the same time, just like friends of friends. Oh yeah, he dated that. And I was like, what? But he dated me for like a month. And it doesn't seem like that long. A month is not that long, but it is a waste of a woman's time when you're texting and talking and FaceTiming and doing all that stuff daily and
Yeah,
then going out on dates once or twice a week. And then, you know what I mean? Like you're putting effort into this woman or
right,
man, if you're on the other side of it, with the intention that it's not going anywhere. So this is where ghosting is, comes into play as well. But I feel like ghosting kind of happens sooner. I think it takes a lot of gumption to be brave enough to say, it's not going to work out. even if it's in a text, at least texting to say, "Hey, actually, I just I'm not feeling the vibe or whatever, because it stings in that moment. That rejection is there in that moment. But just like you said in that relationship where you just didn't know what the hell happened, how did the floor just drop out from under me? That is worse than that little sting of rejection of just being like, oh damn, I wasn't his type. Okay, next.
Right.
So we tend to linger in those feelings a little bit longer because we don't know what the heck happened. They just blocked us, they stopped responding, they disappeared. The guy that I saw after that month, he did tell me, I'm just not interested. And let me tell you, a year later, I dated him again and he said, I don't know why. What I know, this is me. This is what I was talking about. A year later, he came back into my DMs and was like, I have no idea why I let you go. Like, I was so stupid. You're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to make it up to you, right? He's like, I know how much you love New York. And he planned this whole New York date. And I was like, ooh, I was swooning, thinking, like, wow, okay, he's changed. He's
No.
maybe been rejected himself and realized that, like, you can't fuck around. Here we go. We dated a month again. And wouldn't you know it, he
Yep.
dropped
Back.
me again.
He just wanted that medicinity. You had that tight snatch. He was
Oh,
like, "Let me get
God,
that
apparently.
snatch." It's
Anyway,
but,
so
with the ghosting, so, like, okay, so I'm doing the online dating, right?
yeah.
I personally will okay, so I have been matching. There's been a lot of people that so I'm not even looking at so when you look at okay, so I'm on the Facebook dating. Okay, so when you look at the Facebook dating, you have your messages, people that have like they try to match you with, and then people that like your profile. I no longer am looking at anybody else's profile unless they've already liked my profile. And
Okay.
that's when I will match because they've already liked me. So I'm like, okay, yes, no, 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 no. Yes. A lot of them are out of town. And so I think they're very handsome and I think they have a great profile, right? And so I'll match with them and I'll tell them on there, "Hey, I think that you're handsome if you totally lived in Vegas, this would definitely work out. But unfortunately, you don't live here. And so I'm not looking for a long term relationship." And I would say, out of all of those, and I'll tell them, like, "Hey, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Like, good luck to you." And respectively, they'll all write back, like, "Oh, I totally understand. Like, I appreciate you. Thank you." I'll get some that are like, "Well, it's only a 4-hour drive." I'm like, "Oh god." And then I'll get one that's like, "I'll move to Vegas." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, you jumped from woman to woman household. I can already tell by that comment." So I'm just kind of like, No, thank you." But then I feel like I start a conversation with people and it's like days before I hear from them again. Or I'll say something and then it'll be like, later they'll make a comment. I don't write a comment back on everything they fucking write. So, like, one guy was like, "Oh, I can tell you're not interested. Good luck." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, unmatch." So I will unmatch with people and not say anything
Yeah.
unless they have my phone number. If they have my phone number and we're texting or on phone calls or we've met, because I'm a big believer, like, we should go meet. I don't wanna sit on a phone and have yeah, I like that coffee date, and that's
Yeah.
why I can know right away, but I don't wanna ever ghost someone, and I remember I had that one guy ghost me. He was, like, totally, like, all into me and was talking to me for, like, a good, what, 24 hours on the phone, and
Yeah.
then blank, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
Yeah.
It's 'cause he found out I was a sexual health coach. I'm telling that's the rejection part I get. That's why when I go on my dating, I don't tell people what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what I do for a living until we meet in person or the conversation is brought up that I own my own companies. But other than that, I'm just a plain old respiratory therapist going to
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
I don't tell anybody what I do because I am afraid of the rejection. The immediately, "Oh, she's a super freak. She just likes having sex. She probably put shit in her ass." I I know. Why do I think of these things?
Yes.
But I'm like, why do I think of these things? So I reject, I feel like that's why I don't tell anybody. I don't feel like I can be a proud business owner of
Yeah.
what I've accomplished and the fact that I can make a living, a very sustainable living off of what I do because I'm afraid of the rejection of, "Oh, that's like, oh, you're a
Yeah,
sex."
or they'll just be like, "This is all she wants," and then they don't take you seriously, so which is
Correct.
still rejecting.
Yeah, and then they talk about sex right away, and so that's why I'm like, I don't even wanna talk about sex
Yeah.
with you. Don't send me a dick pic because 'cause I'll send one back.
So let's talk about how rejection can, like, take control of you,
Yes.
um, which I have not experienced only and you have probably only experienced it when you dated that boy that you stayed at the party too long, because that's what
That's
I've
gonna be
dealt with anything,
the
and
boy at the party.
most women will go through this, but men go through it
Mhm.
too. It's called rejection sensitivity. And it happens a lot when you're just hyper fixated on what happened and then you're internalizing it. You think that there's something wrong with you. And, or in the sense of like, whatever's here, I can fix it. It could even be financially, like, oh, I'll just keep buying him things to make him stay. And I know that you dealt with that a little bit as well. Um,
Mhm.
and and it's very, very common. So especially if you're making a little bit more money than the guy, or if you are in a good financial position, well, I can just buy him. And guys do the same thing with these women. Oh, I'll just keep maybe she's kind of pushing me away, she's rejecting me a little bit, but I'll just keep spoiling her, I'll keep bringing her gifts, I'll keep buying her dinners and all these expensive things, especially men who have money, because they just want that connection so badly. They don't want to feel that rejection. So when is enough enough, you know because some people get stalkerish and they
And
get crazy.
well, and the part too with rejection when we're looking at, like, relationships on that, I think it will tangle into your bedroom
Yeah.
because now you're afraid of rejection sexually, and I think this also hooks into hypersexuality because you're gonna have a lot of people that are so afraid, like, buying stuff. Listen, I would love to find that one. So if that one is out there that just wants to throw gifts and vacations at me, my number will appear on the screen right now. I'm just joking. But you see what I'm saying? Like, so you get people that are like that, but then you get people that are hypersexual that they don't want the rejection, so they'll hook up with the person really fast
Right
or
away.
be in the bedroom really fast because it's a form of rejection for them, and so they think if they give up the punani or get the penis that it's an easy way for them.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing with couples or anybody like that is you have to internalize yourself first. And I think they need to go back and look at themselves, and I look at yourself when it comes to rejection and what are you afraid of with that person, but don't pull it in the bedroom
Yeah.
because
Don't
I
give it
think
away
it's
too quick.
universal.
Just like money, your vagina might be really good or you might have a really good penis action, but it's not going to make that person stay. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have sex that one time because it made you feel better, like you felt connected to that person, and they're never going to call you again.
Yeah. Yeah, then they
So,
ghost you. And then it makes your rejection even worse.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I tell a lot of people like too when I am on a dating, I tell a lot of people I date with the intent. I date with a purpose. So my dating is for a long-term relationship. I'm not dating for fun. I'm not dating for flings. I do date multiple people. I do not have sex with multiple people. That is my number one rule. If I have sex with someone, I am exclusive with them into that level if I'm going to get on that. But I have gone on dates and I am going on dates with multiple people because that's what I'm doing. I'm dating with a purpose to find my overall person, right? So I think with rejection, I think people need to internalize it first and figure out what they don't like that they're afraid of getting rejected from and focus on that on how to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind
It's
of what you
starting
would
here. Yeah. It's starting with the mind and the heart. You gotta figure out what's going on with you. Otherwise, you're gonna completely ignore red flags, and then when they reject you, because they will, because they can see that, guy or girl, and you're going to completely be broken. So to avoid that side of it where you're gonna start spiraling and I mean, we've seen it in friends and all of that too, where they just completely shut down, they become depressed, anxious, they start clinging to every relationship,
Yeah.
or even if it's 2 days, "Oh, he was
Yeah.
so great." A good
Yeah. Oh
example,
my God.
if you've seen The Big Bang Theory,
Mhm.
Raj, that is someone who just cannot handle rejection and then shuts down. Maybe they're eating like crazy. Maybe they're under eating and starving themselves because they've experienced it so bad. And it all starts from something previous, whether it was trauma as a child, rejection as a child, um, maybe you didn't have maybe you had an absent parent and you just felt rejected from that parent, and then going into bullying and stuff, into friendships that were hurtful. And then as you get into relationships and feel rejected within those relationships, it just you have to deal with your shit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna keep happening. You're gonna continue to feel hurt because of that.
100%. And something that I do tell clients this. If you're someone that is afraid of certain things, or you're afraid that you're going to get too sexual with them right away and you do want to date for a purpose, beat before you go on the date,
Yeah, that's a
because
good
then you've already had your orgasms and you're
yeah.
not gonna, like, be so afraid to, oh, I got to sleep with this person in order for them to want me, right? So that could definitely. The puppy just ran and slid. She's on her own fucking mind right now. But yeah, I think that's the thing I tell a lot of people too. I'm like, just masturbate. I'm like,
Yeah,
masturbate before you go on your date. This way you already had an orgasm, you're relaxed, you're chill, you're ready
yeah.
to, kind of learn the person, and maybe you'll be more, I guess you could say, open to seeing those flags.
Yeah, and you're not sitting there thinking about the chemistry, because there could be really good sexual chemistry, but it doesn't mean that that's your forever person. So
Correct.
why waste your time, unless that's all you want. But 9 times out of 10, people who want a real connection are the ones that are getting hurt, hence the reason why we're talking about rejection today. So,
Right. Yeah.
but
They're the ones that get hurt. And then they're like, I
yeah,
don't want nobody. Fuck everybody.
I'm gonna, delete my Facebook and not be on the apps anymore because I'm just over it.
She's calling me out if you guys can't tell. I have my moments, okay? I get on there because
It
I'm
is
like, "Oh,
very hard.
maybe I'll
Dating is
date." And
yeah.
then I'm like, I go on a couple dates and I'm like, "No, never mind. I don't wanna date any."
Yeah, when I was dating, I would download them and then delete them, and then download some different ones because maybe they'd be better, and then delete them.
And
It's
they were
all
all the same people,
yes, you'd see the same guys on the same thing, and I'm like, "Wait a minute."
same people, same people I'm like, "Oh my god, I
I
can't."
know, like, I would date and then get off of it for, like, 6 months and then go back on, and there'd be the
Yeah,
same guys.
and they're like, "Oh, happy to see you again."
I'm like, "Oh, fuck, not
Yeah,
really."
I don't know. I have 2 dates this week, and I'm excited for both of them.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't say I'm excited. I sound like a schoolgirl. I like.
where it's going.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, and
definitely.
and Tiffany and I are not trying to tell you guys not to like date or to put yourself out there or to meet a new friend or anything like that. We're just talking about communication being important, especially in friendships, being able to process things, especially in business. And then when it comes to relationship, like deal with yourself, your heart and your mind to make sure that you're healthy enough to be out there, to know what you want and know your worth, because you're going to get rejected and you're going to have to be able to be like, okay, well, it's a him problem or it's a her problem. It's not me. It's not me. It's not about me. He's just not that into you. She's just not that into you. And that's not your problem. And it's,
No, and I think everybody needs to learn how to deal with rejection, and
yep.
literally, I think it all comes from our childhood with Red Robin. Send little Mary over with the holding the hands and nobody wanted to call my name. I think that's where it starts
Red
from.
Rover.
That fucker, yeah, that game. See, that's why I don't even know it. Red.
Red Robin Young.
I'm saying we all have to deal with rejection, and we have to learn how to process it,
Yeah.
communicate about it, and move forward. And, it's just like with business. keep pushing forward with my business, even though I have haters. Haters make you famous. I'm going to keep pushing forward with relationships, and I'm just taking it one day at a time with them. And if
Yeah.
it gets rejected, it gets rejected. I'm excited for the one because we kind of have the same hobbies. But at the same time, too, like, I'm a
Yeah.
dime a dozen. I'm a
Time with it.
diamond in the rough.
There
And
you
you
go.
guys are
You're a
a
needle in a
very I'm a fucking Tylenol bottle waiting to give you the tism. But I'm saying is that it's going to take a very strong person to deal with this personality.
Yes. Well, just and that's the thing is like everybody's not for everybody. It's just like go into things with the intention. And for those people out there watching this who are the rejectors,
Mhm.
put your fucking pants on and actually be
Whoa.
honest with people and just
Mhm.
like be like, this is why I'm dating. I'm
Yeah.
really just to get my booty call on. I'm not here to waste your time for a month or 2 months or weeks or whatever.
Oh, 100%. I think if they were to be more honest with people up front and be like, "I just want some sex."
And
Okay, great, thanks. I'm looking for a dick appointment. That could be fun, right?
yeah,
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understand, like, if you were more upfront about what you want, it would be a lot easier.
yeah,
And for the people that keep getting rejected, don't give up. Keep
yeah,
going. Even if it's
yeah,
in your business, people keep telling you that your business sucks or you are, they're not friendly with you at work. They're not friendly with you because they're intimidated by you. They're not friendly with you because you know what you're talking about. So just keep going, keep doing
yeah.
you. They will come
Value
around.
your
Yeah,
yeah,
if they don't come around, you will eventually meet somebody that is in the same mentality of you as business, and you guys get along when it comes to work. With friendship, go to the dating stuff. Don't be afraid. I go to freaking speed dating. I want to do speed dating, but I do the open dating thing that they have here in town.
yeah.
I just go to people watch. I'm not really gonna date any of those people. Maybe, I don't know. But I go to people watch because it's funny as shit to watch some of these people because I like to try to match them. I'm like, "Ooh, he should go talk to her," and they would be a good couple. I'm gonna be like a matchmaker in there.
Oh, new
But yeah,
business ideas, new business ideas.
I would just say, everybody keep pushing forward. Don't stop just because one thing rejected you from, starting your own company or rejected you because they didn't want to show you their boobies. Just move
Yes.
on.
Yes, or if the girls didn't wanna be friends with you or someone who you thought was your friend is
Yeah.
not your friend, like, it's you need to know your worth and you have to practice self-care, and if it starts to get to the point where you're becoming depressed about it, no matter what the category is, you need to go get help and talk it out and figure out how to because
Yeah. And
the most
girls,
important thing at the end of the day, you're the one that has to take care of you. You're the one looking at yourself in the mirror and have to be happy with who's on the other
yeah,
side of it. So,
100% on that. I agree with that. So,
yeah,
all right. We're there.
we're
We are
there.
at our hour timeline of our TED Talk. Welcome to Desire and Diagnose podcast TED Talk. Check. I think next week we should talk about male orgasms.
Yeah. I was like,
We've
wait,
talked about we've talked
ah,
about females, we talked about ED, but let's talk about orgasms on a man and
let's
what
talk
happens when he doesn't get it, when he does get it.
and how it
Oh, and
affects
how to make
not
it go.
just the mental ego of the man, but also the female's perspective on it.
Yeah, definitely. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment on one of our podcasts or our videos.
Yep.
Please follow us on all the social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, we're on YouTube and Spotify. So, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.